Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
Hey, this is Tim Seeley, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
This is Luca Parrish, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Why do I feel like this is Night at the Roxbury? Anyway, no, it is the Capes and Lunatics. Welcome back. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, that mustacheless man in New Jersey. It is
Charlie, the Professor Essa. You cannot play fat beats like this and not expect me to groove.
Thanks, Dad. And anyway, and a woman who has scalped many men in her time in Florida. It is.
Hey, y'all, allegedly. It is a little hellfire.
Parody and satire. FBI parody and satire. All those unexplained single men disappearing, you know nothing about it.
By the way, 2 items. One, I do have a mustache. I shaved it back, but it is still there. Got the whole Van Dyke thing going now, you know.
Not as lustrous and full as it
No, but you know, it was for a costume, and sometimes you have to sacrifice for a costume.
Not as
It's not the first time I've radically altered my appearance, so you know.
I was hoping you would do the Charlie Brown again first.
Well, I would have, but my hair wasn't long enough. To do the Charlie Brown, you got to really grow that hair out to get the curl.
Yeah, you blockhead.
Because otherwise, what? I'm just going to draw a curl on my head like some person who doesn't put in the effort into their costume.
She wanted to yank that football away from you.
Yes. And the second item, you say you're looking for the worst superhero movie ever.
Oh boy.
I'm assuming you're not counting. I'm assuming that there's like rules.
We have parameters. We'll let you guys in on it when we start doing the bracket.
Yeah, because it's like I would assume it has to. Because honestly, there's only one movie that could possibly be the worst superhero television show ever. Which I guess was
I think we're making an allowance for something, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, there's only one film that was so. I would rather watch. O'Neal Steel.
Oh, I know which one he wants in the Lilith Hellfire.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Like I said, everybody can. We'll drop the bracket information soon.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, okay. So I did. So this is not an ongoing series. I see.
Yeah, it'll be at least next year. It will be
the whole year, but there's parameters.
Okay. Yeah. Can't just tease people without these details, man.
Man, you're crackling.
We will when the bracket is ready.
You're crackling, Lilith. You're crackling. Crackling.
I don't know what's buddy.
No, it means you're breaking up.
No, I'm not.
She knows.
Oh, okay.
She don't care.
She don't care.
All right. So our topic tonight. Yeah, Charlie had questions about this. I'm a little confused too. So certain people at Image are talking about starting a union, but it's not the creatives. So
yes, it's the higher up, so that they can get rid of anybody at any time for anything.
Oh, the higher ups.
Oh, this is one of those fake unions like they have at Myers, where the company formed the union for their workers. And is that what this is? Because that's weird.
So it's if you want to be a creator at Image, you have to uphold these certain standards and ideals. You can't be homophobic, any of the phobias, isms, none of that. You can't be that. And if you are found to be that, you're suspended. And there's no inquiry. You're just done.
That doesn't sound like what a union
weird.
does.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know that. And that
I didn't think so either. But he's Canadian, so I don't know.
Hey.
Well, I mean, I'm very confused by all of this because
So
it says it's a union, but it doesn't even sound like a union. Now it just sounds like.
So what?
I don't know.
So what are we saying? They're trying to start like a fake union so they can get rid of perceived trouble.
Anybody that's problematic, yeah.
Okay.
So you can just cancel the book like that. That they don't want to have to go through like legal battles and stuff like you sign this contract. You're not supposed to be any issue. You're not supposed to have any issues with you. If you do, we cancel your book.
Wait. So, that's the opposite of what a union. I read the article, and the article just said they were working
creatives. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. All it said, the article Phil sent me was that it was because I actually went to the website, read their whole dissertation, and it's just like people behind the scenes and the people that are so important to making comics. And I'm like, okay, who are those people? It's the
fake wokeism of it all. That's all.
Well, I don't see. The thing is, nothing about their statements told me that. So I don't see where that comes into the conversation, and if that is the conversation, great, but I don't see that. Cause I don't even see where it's, it was a very confusing statement. Look, when I was a stand-up, we used to talk about whether or not stand-up should unionize. This was actually probably the worst time to unionize the stand-ups was at the end of the comedy club boom. In the late 90s, early 2000s. And we were very much a bunch of desperate hacks trying to get stage time. And we knew that, that getting that stage time, that, you got paid in experience, you got paid in exposure. And there were many of us who said, should we form some kind of consortium as stand-ups to say, look, we're not going to play your club unless you meet these certain requirements. Which we all very quickly realized no, because as soon as someone says they're not going to
comedians will cross the line, bro.
Yeah, there's 10 other guys that are like, no, I'll cross that line. Because I'm edgy.
Oh, yeah, it's all cut through.
Because remember, this was back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when if you could just, use profanity, everyone thought you were edgy, and you were rewarded for stroking white male egos.
Whoa.
Yeah, whatever.
Were they Boston Peace owners?
Oh.
I'm just saying. But anyway, no, so that kind of sounds lame.
So basically, so what? So the whole long story short is it's just a way for them to be able to fire problem, if they're this might cause us trouble down the line, so we can just get rid of somebody now.
Yeah, okay. I guess they took a look at the big two and saw what was going on, and they said, you know what, we maybe we want to do something preemptive about it. I mean, it's not the right way to do it, obviously, but.
So I think you got to walk me through this a bit, because so first off, who are the people forming this union? Because it's not the owners of Image, is it?
It's the owners and the creatives. They came up with this idea that they, I guess because so many people have been problematic and, all the things that happen when you have a problematic person in your midst and it just drags out and gives you more bad publicity. They want to be able to nip it in the bud right then and there, cancel the book and be done with the person without any.
So basically I guess it's you can't come back and sue us if we fire you, or if you start talking too much crap,
for a specific,
Yeah,
if you're I guess it even goes with your personal and your public image or whatever. So if you have problems in the office, and if you're on Twitter.
I didn't read all the tweets because I guess it was all announced in tweets. I went to the website link. So Emilio Bautista, who is that?
A guy.
Ryan Brewer, who is that?
A guy.
Leanna.
They're all just some guy, They're all just.
But, are they guys that are they writers? Are they editors? Are they the publishers? Are they the typesetters?
It's mostly the higher ups that want this. The creatives probably don't want to do that as much.
I mean.
Because you can be canceled for, not that cancel culture actually even works unless you're a certain demographic. But yeah, so it's why are we even worried about cancel culture?
Well, the thing is, Well, I've had a lot of
That's what it
conversations
all
about
boils
cancel
down to
culture.
is cancel culture. So,
because along the idea of cancel culture, what's Giancarlo recently said that one of his, his favorite person to work with on The Mandalorian, although I don't even know if they had that many scenes together, was it Gina Cardellini? Whatever her name was.
Oh, Carano or whatever, yeah.
Carano, yeah. And, there's this whole conversation. And I made this point, people don't get mad about you having stupid ideas. As clearly, Chris Pratt has lots of stupid ideas.
Oh.
No one's really that mad at Chris Pratt. I mean, some people are like mad at Chris Pratt, but no one's like very mad at Chris Pratt because Chris Pratt doesn't like make you want to believe his stupid ideas.
No, but what you heard about his latest blunder, though?
Well, I'm sure he did something stupid.
There's so many to keep track of.
Well, he's tweeting all,
He's Starfield now. What do you want?
Well, he was tweeting about, his new wife and, how he's thankful for her and her giving him like a healthy child. We're like, we're like, wait a minute, your first
That's
wife.
rude. Anna Faris.
Yeah, and like their child had
by you when you were a fat boy. That's rude.
Yeah. Well, and their child together had like medical issues. They're like, "Ooh, wait, why are you praising the second?"
Well, first off, that's okay. And again, that's what we call a stupid tweet. I'm sure he's very happy.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying
he has a healthy baby kid. As anyone who has a baby kid who's healthy is very happy.
Yeah, he may not be a douchebag. He might just be dumb. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a dumb guy, and it's okay. The world is full of dumb guys, and so long as they're not trying to control the universe, nobody minds dumb guy. I'm a dumb guy. I say lots of stupid things. I've had a lot of stupid ideas in my life. But the thing is that what makes you not a problem is you don't double down on your dumbness. Like, I'm sure if someone said, "Oh, Chris Pratt, that kind of sounded like you were being mean to Anna Faris." She's like, "No, me and Anna, we've got a good relationship, and I love my children with her. They're the most important things in my life, But I am also very happy to have this new child because it's a great thing in my life." Because that's called dumb guy jujitsu. Is you understand? You say something stupid, and when someone goes at you and be mad, you go, "Oh no, man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend. I'm sorry. This is why I said what I said." And in no way did I imply that other thing that you think I said.
It just seems like a lot of people are more than willing to just wallow in
okay.
To be like, "Oh,
yeah, well, that's how you get fired from a job is you wallow in it, like Gina Cardellini, where you start double downing, and if they say, maybe you shouldn't say things like that, or maybe you should do a little research and yada yada yada, and and that's the thing. It's like the canceling comes when you keep.
I think that comic book.
What?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, what were you saying? What you saying?
No, finish, Charlie. I want Charlie to finish.
No. I was done. There's a lag.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say. Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I think comic book writers do need a union.
Yeah.
Can we all agree on that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I don't think this is the right way to go about it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I think a union is a great idea. I think the idea of, and here's what I'll say, and it can't just be, I mean, you need the $1 million writers. You need, Bela Lugosi and Clark Gable to help you form the Actors Guild. But really, it's all the schlubs on the line who actually make it work. It's the lighting crew and the grips who actually allowed these show business unions to thrive, because sure, you may think you can replace the lighting guy easily, which you really can't, at least not well. But when you get your high powerful talent aligned with the letterer and the inker and the typesetter and the all these other groups, then you can actually start to have some power. What surprised me about this is that it's somehow just a comic book union. It's not one of the major entertainment unions.
Yeah, like, I thought the Writers Guild or something would help them out. Like but they have their unique needs too on top of that, so it's super tricky.
Yeah. Well, I think the Writers Guild would be a great pair up because obviously they're used to dealing with rights issues, which is usually what creatives worry about, But like, here's what I say: like the way you describe it, Lilith, it sounds much different than the way that it's presented in the article I read.
I read like 9 different articles, and
and that's the thing. If you're going to be invested in it in that way, cool.
Well, it's weird because it's like Image specifically is like, we're not going to recognize this comic book union, and it's like, bro, he's Canadian. What do you mean? I don't understand what's going on here.
Wait. So Image is or is not recognizing this union?
They said that they probably won't recognize the union, and that they'll probably
Okay, well then, so like I said, it's confusing to me. Like I'm used to unions dealing with working conditions and labor hours.
Well, let's be clear. They are
content.
Terrible working conditions.
No, well, I know that, and that I would be very cool with that. Although again, you have that stand-up comedy.
But they also didn't do it at the right time. Like negotiations are all about time. And like with everybody going to Substack and all those things, it's just like, you might have missed your window. I mean, you got to shoot your shot, but you got to know when to shoot that shot.
Well, actually, I mean, arguably, that is exactly the best time to strike. When there's a competitor that is pulling your talent away, and you can get some talent to want to stay, and that's what it comes down to. Is like, are we going to get? I don't know.
But like at this point, with like Substack, and you get to be, it's an easier way to do your creator-owned stuff.
I mean, I just wonder if Image is going to be able to stay the way they are. I mean, again, the smaller guys might go to Substack if they don't get their way, but it's like, Todd McFarlane, he don't need Substack.
Or web comics. That really has changed the game with things like, Kickstarter, GoFundMe, things like that. Like that's a whole subgenre of comics at this point.
But I mean, but like even if Image gets problematic, like a Todd McFarlane could be like, you know what, I'm just going to take all my spawns and start my own thing over here.
Again.
You don't need a Substack. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I actually didn't even realize that Spawn was published by Image. So
it's the house that Image built. What do you mean?
Oh yeah.
I just assumed Todd McFarlane had his own imprint. I just assumed everything. I thought Todd McFarlane LLC just ran the whole game.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did that any day now. But no.
Oh, I mean, he already has Todd McFarlane toys. That ain't Hasbro making those. know. He knows about light manufacturing, and that is essentially what comic books are.
Yeah, Penguin.
No,
I'm telling you, the comic book industry is going through it at a time where I feel like maybe just wait it out for a minute, just maybe, so the whole industry doesn't collapse. I don't know.
I know.
Well, first
it's on the verge. I mean, the only thing holding it up is GoFundMe's and manga. Like the big two are not doing good, guys. I don't know how to tell you this. I've been saying this for a while.
Okay, but again, the big two are a farm team for the larger project. The larger entertainment powerhouse it's sort of like why you still have minor league baseball when there's Major League Baseball. Because you need a
development league. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, exactly. You do comics, and you come up with some good stories, and then they cut you a check, and then they give your story to somebody else to write it professionally. Or sometimes you are one of these great people who get to move up to the majors through it. So
I've been saying that the comics need a change, and if this is the straw that breaks the camel's back, and we come into something different and new, I don't even know at this point. Like I could care less about the big two at this point. It's
well,
And like I said, the biggest thing for me is that Image is like, nah, we don't want to do that. Like Image of all comic book companies, it's not a good look for them. It's just such not a good look for Image.
I wonder if nothing else, if they're worried that if they do let that union thing go through, if they're gonna big names aren't gonna come their way. They're gonna be scared to be like, oh yeah, no, I'm not messing with that union thing. Nah.
Well, I mean, it's weird. Well, and again, like you say, it's the idea that Image is the one place where maybe they had some cover. Because you're creator owned, you're supposed to be all about this. Yeah. Well, we're creators too. Maybe we should all work together. But
everybody can't be a collective, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
But
it's sort of like,
But again, even
and
though,
then there's also the part of me that thinks this is a scam, like that Freelancers Guild.
yeah, I mean,
That's what you know. What honestly, that's what I was thinking too. Because I was like, because this is the other union that helped them form the Comic Book Workers United or whatever. They kind of not to throw shade. They seem a little sketchy. I was just like, I don't know.
And I'm not saying. And by the way, I'm not saying that what I call the Freelancers Guild is a scam, but it's basically a PEO.
But a lot of people think unions are scams. So
Well, yeah. Well, no, but it's just that like they don't have any actual negotiating power. It's just a collective that lets you buy health insurance.
Takes your union dues, yeah.
Well, no, what you're doing is you're forming a collective to buy benefits.
That's an interesting artistic choice.
And maybe sort of has some uniformity in rates, which can be useful if you're in a freelancer situation.
True.
You want uniform rates. You want to say we're not going to backbite each other. But it's like it doesn't give you any negotiating power per se. It just gives you this ability to pool your resources, mostly for all the things that if we lived in a modernized country, we wouldn't have to pay for ourselves.
With the Gucci belt, indeed, sir.
We had like healthcare and pay time off and crazy things.
Family leave. Yeah, you don't have to choose
public university.
infant in your job.
Hey, I took a full 2 weeks off when my child was born. I'd use vacation time, but yeah.
Okay, like if the pandemic babies have taught us anything, we should be staying at home with our children for their developmental needs. But hey.
Even without a pandemic, I mean, people, you don't want criminals running your streets. You don't want these douchebags everywhere you look. Yeah, you gotta let the parents stay home with the kids. Come on, gotta raise them right.
No, that assumes that the parents were raised right.
Well,
see, it's sort of.
I live in Florida, so yeah.
It's sort of these things where if you were raised right, you'll raise your children right. But if you weren't raised right, you will continue on ad infinitum.
Well, I'm just saying.
But it's not even about that. It's about actually spending time with your children. They crave it and they do better. Just in general, whether you're raising them terribly or not, just that close contact actually helps their developing brains and stuff like that. But that's off the topic. But this is such a perplexing issue for me. Like, I'm so disappointed in Image. They should be the first ones at the table leading the way, if anything, for just good publicity at a time like this when comics are about to be in a crisis.
Didn't you say it was Image that was forming the union? Like
the people specifically, I guess, are like
the owners of Image? This is what I'm trying to understand.
No, the creative, from everything that I understand, it's the creatives and some of the like not too higher ups, but like middle management or something. I guess.
Okay. So that answers my question. It's the editors. It's your book line editors, the assistant editors. Your creatives, which
I think this is just a scare tactic because some people are being problematic and they want an easier way to get rid of them. That's what it boiled down to me. The reason why they wanted to form it.
Well,
that's the thing.
I could kind of see that too. Imagine you're like a small creator and you have like your first or second book at Image, and some other guys over there at Image, spouting, I don't know, hate speech or whatever. And you really want that publicity? We're like, whoa. It's like you're going to tarnish the whole company. I'm just
free speech and all that, and let the market decide is the point too.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
there's plenty of people that hate speech appeals to. If we've learned nothing from our previous 4 years,
That's true, but there are people who don't like it either. And it's like, if I'm just getting my first book off the ground, I'm like, I don't want to be taking your shrapnel, just in case,
Yeah, but along the same lines, it's an odd, like there are actual hate group comics that are produced right now out of Image, but they're like
Pepe Frog.
No, not him. No. There's I was listening to an NPR broadcast. I can't even remember the name of it, but just one like ultra conservative comics, and it's all like extreme force superheroes. But like,
was it Hoover Comics?
Well, it's like if Homelander was the hero of the boys, is basically what it comes down to. And so, you get that. Those books are out there. I don't see them in the main group. But then that kind of comic was formed in reaction to all of the wokeness of Marvel and DC, having.
I don't even know what they got their panties in a bunch for. They didn't even do a good job with it. So,
well, I don't know.
I mean, if we're gonna be quite blunt,
it's sort of like
that counts. I don't even know anymore.
Well, what's worse than a problematic creator in comic? A problematic creator in comic that doesn't make money.
Or, a problematic. I think Dan DiDio has the whole freaking industry shook. So everybody's like, we don't want another Dan DiDio situation. What can we do to prevent this?
Yeah, well.
I think that's what it is. Yes, I found a way to blame Dan DiDio. There's your weekly Dan DiDio slander. Take a drink or mark your bingo card.
L'chaim.
But enough of this. Like, I hope that the comic book industry can get it together before it collapses in on itself.
Again, it's not going to collapse in on itself. It actually has an existence. It's
holding on to dear life if you know the real numbers. But okay.
Again, so what you're talking about is indie comics were always.
I'm not even talking about indie. I'm talking about the big two. I'm just saying there's a problem when Spawn selling 4,000 issues is beating the big two.
The big two comics are loss leaders. They're how you get people into the store. You're not going to make money on that, 99-cent cantaloupe. I don't know how much cantaloupes cost, but
Oh, the maid does always shopping.
No, I don't eat cantaloupes. But the idea is you put it out there like, oh, look at, and literally you just throw everything out there. You want a teenage girl Marvel Islamic superhero? Here's a Ms. Marvel. You want a... I'm sure there's one of the Green Lanterns is that too. And it's like, throw and throw and throw and throw. And one of them is going to hit. Because that's literally how comics work. No one thought, oh, let's give Spider-Man a black suit. Oh, let's have this black suit become Venom. And no one thought that was going to be a $1 billion franchise. With T-shirts and,
Oh yeah, I talked to Ron Friends. Like at first they were worried people were gonna hate it. They were ready to turn it around like in the first 3 months or something. They're like, oh yeah,
you gotta remember, a lot of these characters were created because someone saw a movie once and they said, oh wow, man, that man who laughs character, that's a real good look for a villain. I'm going to make that into the Joker.
Hey, we do not do Bob Kane and Mr. Finger Slander over here, okay?
I don't even remember who was the one who actually did it. I'm just saying.
And neither do they.
It's
and that's why we went through an 80-year lawsuit.
They're all dead at this point.
It's just the idea that, you throw it against the wall and, 10 eyeball finger man does not become the T-shirt seller that the Joker did. It's okay. We're not going to dwell on that. We had to throw it out there because for all we know right now in an alternate universe, 10 eyeball finger man is the most popular supervillain in the Batmaniverse.
It's the 10-eyed man, and you put some respect on that man.
Sorry, the 10-eyed man. And honestly, he's like the 10-eyed man. Right now is really primed because he is creepy and he's kooky and mysterious and ooky. He is ready to burst out as the next big Batman villain.
Don't get fingered.
They're even like hitting around with him. They know there's something there. They know there is something about a person with fingers in their eyes. Sorry, eyes in their fingers that just creeps people out in a bad way. And that is a thing that could be a real potential villain in the future because artists like to draw things and they will like to draw creepy things. And, 10-eyed man may come back bigger than you ever thought.
It doesn't feel right, bro.
And if not him, then somebody else, Calendar Man, man. They keep on. They want Calendar Man to happen.
That's Lil's new.
I expect to see Calendar Man in a Batman book in about 3 months.
I mean, he was in that long Halloween special that came out last week.
Well, again, it's not just about the books. It's about.
Well, I'm saying the books.
Merchandising.
The books in general are in danger. You're just going to be stuck with the MCU, is what I'm telling you guys. So
I'm actually okay with that. You know,
I mean,
I'm not.
you mean you think if it gets bad enough, are they just going to like say, you know what, we're not going to print paper anymore. We're just going to do digital.
I think they tried that and it backfired on them. I think they desperately want to do that.
They want to, but they don't want the bad PR of screwing over all the comic shops, though.
Yeah. You know, they need to get into the non-fungible token market.
No, don't tell them about that, bro.
No, for real. You could number. It's like it's the perfect blending of all things. You could, and because you can publish like 50 non-fungible tokens of, you know, Spider-Man number 123. You know, all of the books are coming out, and so each one is individually numbered. And you can do that.
Put that into the atmosphere. They just caught on to Bitcoin. Come on.
No, don't buy Bitcoin.
They're ruining it all.
You shut your filthy mouth.
Bitcoin is not good.
I know it's not. Neither is Dogecoin, but you know, here we are.
None of that.
It's not real. You can't touch it.
Let's go back to Club Penguin tokens. Damn it! Oh, 90s kids. Sorry.
Yeah, no. I remember those. I never played it, but I heard a horrible story about it.
And they're all true. Penguin.
Warn me! Don't let your children play with the clubs. The penguins. They have the tokens, and they're gonna spend money.
I sold
trading nudes for tokens.
Whoa.
It's horrible.
What? Oh yeah, Google it on your own free time.
Yeah, you
use a private browser though.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, we didn't used to have parental controls on the internet, and
not at all. Net Nanny was a joke.
There was a reason we have them now. Okay, moving right along.
Books.
Oh yeah, well hey, let's talk about the book both Lilith and I read this week.
Phil's
Yeah, let's make Phil's eyes glaze in the back of his head.
Chilling Adventures in Sorcery, number 1.
Ooh.
I'm just gonna say off top, 10 out of 10, highly recommend.
Okay.
This is how we suck you into the world of Archie, okay?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I love a horror anthology. With all my heart and soul, I love a horror anthology. This seemed to be trying too much to be an Archie horror anthology, and less trying to be a horror anthology featuring with the Archies, which I know they can do. Because
they've desperately been trying to rein Sabrina heavily back into the Archie territory, so much so is that she's actually going to be in Riverdale, even though they canceled her show. So I was expecting this, but it's more about Madam Satan, which I love. She's like my person.
Yeah. The Madam Satan I love, and honestly, there's so much backstory here that I don't know about, which is like, oh, she's on the River Styx, and it's like she's being tortured, you know? It's like this is her hell. Which that arc that I got from it is kind of enjoyable, but the stories we got, they're not bad stories, they're just not very logical stories.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know, like, so for example, we got Living on Part-Time, which is basically our Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff, where Archie is working at the arcade as a night watchman, and he says, I don't know, man, something jumped me and I got knocked out. And they're talking, like, oh yeah, remember that story Reggie told us about the haunted video game? Now, why he didn't just leave, I don't know. He's the night watchman. He can just
right, bro.
You can like lock the door on your way out and say, take this job and shove it. You didn't tell me there were murder bots here. And he realizes, oh, that's why I blacked out, because I lost a life. And then he's like, well, I'm ready to fight him again, because he just keeps on doing the same thing over and over again. And we also
he's a blockhead, truly.
Yeah, I mean, really. And of course, at the start of this, like, the ferryman on the River Styx isn't in today, and it's the intern who is Archie because he just died. And he's very much a complainer. Is Archie that much of a whiner in the comics?
He is. He really is. They got that down to a T, especially modern day Archie.
Yeah, and so this was Pride, and our next sin is Gluttony.
Yes! Okay, so obviously I love Jughead's story the best. I can relate to this so much.
You see, I loved everything but the ending.
Yeah.
The ending was so it's like, I love, because I'm waiting for, because what I loved, say the story's kind of lame. The framing devices are awesome. Meeting Zombie Jughead.
Yeah.
Zombie Jughead in the trash heap.
But that's that's the beauty of Archie, though. Like it's blanding. You can lay, and that's especially modern day Archie is that they give you the device and you know Riverdale is the setting.
I mean, I'm hoping we get an issue 2 is what I'm going to say, because I love the framing devices. And this one, like I said, it's all the hits. So it's Jughead in a hamburger eating contest, and everyone's like, you know, hey man, maybe you shouldn't eat so many hamburgers. Like, I know when to quit, and he leaves one bite uneaten. Then he goes to eat it at the end, and spoilers, when he goes to eat the last piece of food, the fridge eats him. Oh,
I was like, when the Simpsons club Treehouse of Terror is that?
Yeah, it was weird. It was very weird. But she does eventually get
somebody smoked a doobie. It's fine.
Yeah. And then she goes through, and she's back to being the principal. When she goes outside, Satan has returned, and hell has been unleashed on the earth. So, again, I get the feeling like this is meant to be Madam Satan's personal hell, which I enjoy. I enjoy that a lot. Oh, and we get our nice little demonic dipsy doodle at the end, which I did enjoy. I get another Jughead story. And he paints the Betty Veronica two-headed monster. Then they come to life. And I don't know, because it's like seems like I can't tell if they're still attached or if they've now separated, but they've got 3 legs in this panel when they only had 2 legs in the original painting.
Don't think too hard about it. Lord knows they don't. That's the secret about Archie. They really don't think too hard about anything.
But I really enjoyed it. I will pick up Chilling Adventures of Sorcery #2 if they ever publish it.
Probably next Halloween.
Yeah, probably.
Well, no, because, you know, they're on a very limited actual printing schedule. They don't really print a lot of books anymore. They're still, like, restructuring and stuff.
Have you read Big Alpha Energy?
I heard good things from Casually Comics. You know, we love Soft here, so I will pick it up eventually, but I haven't read it.
Yeah, you know. It was a Betty and Veronica Halloween special, too.
I like everything.
Yes, I do. Okay.
Philip, what's your pick?
Well, I think we probably all read this, hopefully. Radiant Black.
Yes, of course. Friend to the show.
Yes.
Mr. Higgins.
Number 9.
Yeah. I like the idea, and it's very interesting because it's sort of, for those who don't know, apparently, now that they're superheroes, we're getting a bunch of new supervillains randomly. And everyone's mad at Radiant Black for destroying. I'm sorry, Phil. Go
ahead.
So everyone's mad at Radiant Black because of what happened in Tokyo, where a bunch of rocks fell on things and everyone got hurt. And but here's the thing: it's told in such a beautiful way because it is cut between these scenes of the new Radiant Black talking to the guy in the coma and going back and forth, yada yada yada. And him dealing with being this new superhero, because the AI that gave him the powers isn't giving him any guidance. It's sort of a Greatest American Hero thing, but where it's not that he lost the instruction book, it's just that the instruction book is being a real jerk. Sort of like in Greatest American Heroine when they ask for the instruction book and says, "We already gave you 2, we don't have any more." I really hope you still have at least one of those books we gave you. Fun fact, one of those books is in the middle of the desert somewhere.
Yes, it shrunk down to like the size of a...
No. But the original book, it's full size. It's just in the middle of the desert. The one he first dropped.
Yeah.
It's like he could just walk up and down that road like 1,000 times at super speed. Probably could find the book, but they never thought about that.
Unless somebody else picked it up, thought it was like, you know...
Yeah, well, I was waiting for that story where someone finds the book and it's like there's a cult in the middle of the desert. Like,
they got canceled before they could do that.
Yes. But, you know, there's a nice scene here with him and I believe it's Sonia, who's the red one. Because it's fun.
Get it?
Yeah. Well, because, you know, she didn't mean to put anyone in the hospital. It's like, this thing, it's like all these people with superpowers and no one meant to do anything. Because they really weren't ready for superpowers. Because this was not a planet that was ready to have superpowered beings. And yet, here we are. Classic superhero trope. Eventually, there's a whole thing about the Circle Guy Network, which is a podcast dedicated to the Circle Guy and the Circle people. And apparently
Shots
they're
fired again.
I know,
Yeah.
man. These creators are coming at us hard, man.
yeah, but
How hard is it?
and Radiant Black agrees, like makes a deal with them where he's gonna tell them, sort of like what they suggested that Reed Richards did with the comic book companies. And Tony Stark says, "Hey there, Mr. Lee, why don't I tell you our stories, and you and your good friend Mr. Kirby can draw them and sell them for money, and you can give us some profits."
If it's
Sounds
good
like
for Joe Rogan, it's good enough for me.
Yeah. And so,
Blue Chew, please sponsor us. Day 5 of Blue Chew, please sponsor us.
And there's apparently a fictional superhero comic book series in this called Cowl, COWL as an acronym. And
Didn't Cal Higgins write that, or was he involved in that somehow? I thought.
Was that a thing?
Was it? I thought.
I don't know. I never heard of it, but okay. But he realizes that his friend, and this is what's weird, is like his friend doesn't actually appear to him as a ghost until like the very end, just before he's about to be killed. And then
that Image book, yeah.
Okay, so that's big in this universe, because they're going to make a major motion picture about it. They should have gotten Daniel Day-Lewis to play Gray Owl or whatever his name was, Gary Falcon, I think. But the thing is like this ghost character starts meeting him, and he's remembering the lines that his friend told him, and he realizes, he has to be alive, because I never actually read that, but it was right here in his story. So he tells them that they can't disconnect him. And like they're all ready to disconnect him. They're all ready to just pull out the breathing tube and give him the injection so he doesn't feel any pain, to let him stop breathing on his own. And he says, "Stop, stop!" And then the mom goes, "But it's my baby. They're gonna kill my baby," because he made her feel all the emotions. And he goes and he talks to the AI.
Boo.
And he forces the showdown with the AI, man. He stays on the train tracks as the train's coming. He's like, you know what? If I die, you're gonna get messed up too. So you better start talking. I love.
Yeah, well, he says, "Hey, what if someone even worse than me finds you next?"
Oh yeah.
You think I'm the worst person on this planet? Yeah. And he comes. He says, "Listen, if I bring your friend back to life, you could lose everything." He says, "That's fine."
That sounds like a Phil Parrish threat. You think I'm bad? What if Noel of Hellfire gets you next?
Yes, well, there we go. And that's where we leave it. They have agreed to try and resurrect the first Black Radiant Black, and we'll see what happens next month. Come back in 30 days, true believers.
And I know Lilith loved the call out of Wizard magazine.
Yes, of course, always.
Is that?
I thought that the art was really great, though. No,
it was a flashback.
But I collect them now. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I loved Wizard magazine.
They're only $1 at my guy's comic book shop. They're like this thick.
I haven't seen them anywhere. Oh, there's a drop. No, I haven't seen them anywhere, even the old ones. No, that's where I got all my comic news before the intranets.
Yep, same. Well, they
I
also had one of the first websites for nerds too, kind of sort of in that vein.
I always like Comic Shop News. Have you ever read that one? That was the actual broadsheet. It was technically it was a tabloid, but they folded it in half so it looked like a broadsheet. And yeah, that's where I got all my comic shop news all my comic book news when I was a kid. But I remember Wizard, and was there another one? I forget. Anyway, you kids today, you don't know. You Zennials, you 21 now. You don't know what it was like when we were reading these magazines to learn about comic books in the 90s. Oh, it was great.
They're like, what's paper?
I learned something new like a month ago. Den of Geek is actually a magazine? What? Since when? I literally did not know that. I just thought it was a website.
Probably
I actually
more
saw one like out in the wild, and I was like, "What the is that?
Trying to get the old people, probably. But yeah, I'm sure that website has more eyes on it.
Yeah,
Lilith,
that was wild.
Lilith, you got a book you want to throw out?
Of course. Shout out to Scout Comic Books, who seems to be doing better because this new book that I picked up was $4.99 and not its usual $1.99 or $2.99.
Oh, is it big?
Whoa.
But it was worth it. It's Commander Rao #1. It's written by Found Hell and Jeremy Sizemore. No, Simser. Sorry. And then the art is also by Fellhound. It's basically a manga. It's basically a manga. Kind of reminds me of Naruto mixed with a little bit of One Punch Man. But we're doing space. So yeah, that's pretty much how I can explain it. I love the art though. The story seems pretty cool. So like if you're into like those two mangas, I would highly recommend it.
So I'm hoping it got a lot bigger if the price jumped $3.
Well, the art is definitely better. The paper is better.
Oh, okay.
I think this is their most expensive book yet, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm glad to see that they're growing and doing better and getting better, paper stock and stuff like that. I find Scout Comics is really the one to watch. If you can find back issues of their stuff, like they do very limited stuff, like 5-issue stuff.
I've loved everything I've read by them yet. I don't know.
It's so diverse and varied too. Like they're not just one thing.
Or they might have sucked you in with like, here the first one's $1.99 and then they jumped it up.
No, they're not like that because they still have $1.99 books. It's just like this is they felt that this would be probably their moneymaker. So they were like, hey, let's just throw it out there and see what happens. I'm a sucker. I bought it.
Well, remember, like in the early 2000s, and like Marvel and DC kind of did stuff like that. They put out like those 25-cent issues or 10-cent issues, like the beginning of like a Fantastic Four story, or like I think was it like the first part of Bruce Wayne Murderer or something. They did that.
Yeah, well, because truth be told, comic books don't cost that much to make.
Duh.
And if it's a reprint of an old book that is, you're not paying anybody royalties on.
Yeah, Image does that frequently.
Yeah, you can get away with it.
$1. I've seen the quarter issues too for Image. So,
speaking of cardstock covers and $4.99 books,
nice segue.
Aftershock Comics, those good guys. You know Aftershock.
Yeah, I'm very familiar. I love Aftershock.
#1, The Heathens. I thought maybe you might have picked this one up, Lilith, because this seems like your kind of book, but maybe not.
Well, it's Colin Bunn, so yeah, I did pick it up. And so you well, maybe not.
That's what we should have named this podcast.
Colin Bunn. Yeah, no, that's actually the main reason I picked it up. Well, remember, I saw an ad for it in like the last Aftershock I picked up, where I got like the first 4 pages. Like, oh, that sounds so cool. Now, here's what I'm going to say. This is another one of these situations where I think the writer thinks it's a real novel premise, but it's actually been done so often. This is, let's send a slightly less evil person from hell to collect someone who is more evil, who escaped from hell. Because apparently, if you're more evil, you can escape from hell. And the less evil people just, isn't that always the way? It's like the really evil guys, they just walk right out of hell. But the actual less evil people, they just like, nope, I'm fine. I'll just stay here.
They're so evil that evil can't be contained, Charlie.
No, I just think they realize wait a minute, I can just leave. So when Ambush Bugs looks over and sees the exit when he's in hell, and he just says, "Wait a minute, what's that sign say? Exit?" That's because it was his.
It's supposed to say no exit.
No, because that's the thing. That's the thing no one realizes is that Mephisto has no power. You just agree to his terms and you sign the contract, but that's a meaningless contract. Who's going to enforce that?
Let's talk about Uncle Ben.
I think it's cool. I just like it because it's basically like a Western / samurai kind of situation.
Oh no, it is beautiful. It is beautiful. So okay, for those who don't know, I love this. So we have. What's her name? She, I think. She, the Pirate Queen, the most dangerous woman to ever live before Lilith Hellfire was born. Perhaps a reincarnation. We don't know.
Listen, Lucky Luciano.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lucky Luciano. Oh, Bumpy Johnson. I love the relationship between them. Joe Stalin He's the administrator of hell, which is again one of these ideas that so the more evil you are, you can rise in the ranks. And
they've just been watching Supernatural because that's what Supernatural did.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go again. But she has been basically rounding up everyone. She round up the Zodiac, who was like, "But I never got caught." And actually, we're meeting a lot of people who never got caught, because we see later. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Like who the next person is, because the next person she has to go after is too dangerous to go after alone. And so they have to put a team together, and they get Bumpy Johnson, Lucky Luciano,
Billy the Kid, who's a Golden Hand. Hell,
yeah, that's a deep cut. I don't even know who she is.
I don't either. I was like, is this an OC? I feel like this is an OC. Again,
I think she's Russian. So it's like, I think if you like in Russian pop culture, she's like, oh dang, it's like what's that lady that it's the Irene Adler of Russian folklore. That's my take on it from what they describe her as. They go to the future in Los Angeles, of course, where everyone assumes that they're cosplayers because they're in front of Grauman's Chinese Theater, and which is also one of these weird things. Like, you didn't have them change clothes. You didn't like give them a guidebook.
That would be too easy, darling.
I kind of feel like they are set up to fail. That's what I'm saying. Which, if you read the handwritten notes at the end, you kind of see maybe they are. But we also see that here we got Billy the Kid twirling his gun because he's real good at killing people with his gun, and they are after the Ripper because that's the next killer. They say only much like the Zodiac, the Ripper. But the thing is, they say the Ripper escaped, and they see this gentleman who clearly looks like a Ripper, and they follow him back. Maybe you guys can't see him.
Racial profiling, rude.
Yeah. Hey, look, if you're a creepy looking white guy and hookers have gone missing, you fit the profile.
To be fair, touche, sir.
I know that. I've been there. Okay, so
I'm not a fancy man.
What did he say?
It's a joke from my old stand-up days. But anyway, about being racially profiled because I was a white guy living in Newark at the time. It's like, people, but I stand out. I stand out in the crowd. And as soon as a hooker goes missing, guess who fits the description? But anyway.
He was so quiet.
Yes. Well, but that's what I said. That's why people get freaked out by, people get freaked out by serial killers because, a gangster, he may kill you, but a serial killer, he'll eat your face.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that can be creepy. So they find out that he's hiding in an abandoned church. Well, I don't even know if the church is abandoned. They're like, just, hey, are we even allowed to go into a church? And they're like, that's their version of we're the bad guys, It's like if we were worried about what the rules were, we wouldn't be in this spot. And they go to fight the Ripper, but as it turns out, the Ripper is Legion, for he is many. Dun, dun, dun. And that's what we're going to see next week. Now, here's the fun. Here's why you got to read the text supplementals, kids. There was required reading. This is the personal diary.
When the pictures stop, I stop.
Yes. The journal of Joseph Vissarionovich Stalin. Since the gate was opened. Heathen. Jesse James. And it's the collection of all the people that Jesse James had captured, including Bulger, Hussein, Rasputin, Gacy, Bonaparte, Cotton, and Manson.
Look, I'm just
And
gonna
then-
say Rasputin did nothing wrong. No.
Oh, I'm going to wear a gimp mask and murder people. I don't think he did that. That was Zodiac. No, Rasputin, I don't know if he did anything wrong.
He was only guilty of having an affair with a woman above his station. Hashtag know your history. Hashtag fight the propaganda.
I'm going to be honest with you. There's not even evidence that he did that.
Exactly.
I think, the actual evidence was that he was very influential on the Queen because he saved her son. And he was a real creepy looking dude. Because he was like one of those aesthetic monks.
Nostradamus.
Well, exactly.
Really?
Actually, I don't know if Nostradamus was a creepy looking dude. You know what Nostradamus' first book was? A diet book. They were all the rage.
Freaking Ron Hubbard.
Yeah, literally Nostradamus. Nostradamus. No, you can look this up. Nostradamus was just a failed writer. And he's like, well, what's popular? So people are writing all these health books, how to eat healthy. This is not new. This is not new.
Don't
And he said,
season your food. It's for peasants. Aha.
So he wrote these health manuals, and then he's like, you know what people really want to know? They want to know what's going to happen next. And he probably was reading like these old books about the Oracle of Delphi. He's like, oh, you just say something super vague, and someone's gonna believe it, and someone's gonna retroactively say, yep, that's what you said. He's like, I see many things. And that is literally the Nostradamus story. He just wrote a bunch of really trippy quatrains, and then later everyone says, oh, it was true. It's similar. I mean, not for nothing. That's not too different than what's his name, Casey did, or any other famous psychic. They did reams and reams of predictions, and then someone found one that came true, and then that's how the Simpsons predicted 9/11. And
I drift over to my box.
You just put out enough content, you're going to predict everything. But here's the first clue where we see that Jesse James, when he's going to go after Al Capone, first off, Jesse James is too close to getting let out of hell, but also Capone is possibly too dangerous for him. So let's pair him up with some additional heathen.
Get him a posse, is what you're
Yeah, get him
saying.
a posse so they can bring Capone back, even if Jesse doesn't come back. And of course, Jesse doesn't come back. Capone gets him, but Lady She gets Capone, and then we get the same kind of thing going through. Brings back Capone, Geen, Hitler. I love this. Hitler returned back in time. Embarrassing. He was still trying to paint. Returned by She. Dahmer seems clingy. Vegan. Returned by She. Topin. I don't know who Topin is, but thought she might have been my master stepping out for a bit of fun. Loves murder. Should be a hell of a fight for She. Returned by She. Zodiac asked the master who this is. Driving me insane. Maybe she can ask. Update, she didn't ask. Damn it. Returned by She. Atkins, one of Manson's people, could probably just talk her into killing herself. Clearly stupid. Returned by She. Here we are again. Sometimes my eye for talent works against me. I don't want to lose her, but I have no leverage. Send with possible replacements. This one, The Ripper, should get interesting. Okay, I'm sorry. I enjoyed this book.
I evidently.
There's detail, there's plot, there's lore. Don't you people care about lore?
Everyone loves cocaine.
Yes, they do.
Whoa! Speak for yourself, sir.
Well,
Yeah, Charlie. Lilith, I missed this last week for some reason. Did you read that first issue of Aquaman and Green Arrow? Deep Target.
I too missed it because there were so many damn Bat books.
Oh, what, last week? Or it was last week it came out. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll get it this week.
Yeah, I missed it too. I don't care about it.
I mean, it was all right. It was a little big setup. It's like some secret organization, I guess, is doing time travel experiments, and then like in the second part of the issue, basically
That's Booster Gold territory. Come on.
Well, basically, I guess Oliver Queen and Arthur Curry have switched places because Arthur Curry sneaks into Atlantis as Green Arrow, and there's Oliver Queen sitting on the throne with all of Aquaman's powers.
What is this, a bad episode of Arrow?
Is it the butterfly effect? I don't know.
How would Oliver Queen even get Aquaman powers?
I don't know. Someone went back in time to like.
Switch the baby.
Oh, Mira wound up on Mr. Queen's yacht instead. Or not Mira. What's her name?
No. We don't do that here. That's TV show only.
They haven't explained yet, so it's just
No. But that's the thing. It's like the yacht for whatever Oliver Queen's dad was. When he gets lost, he meets the mermaid lady who saves him, and then that's our Oliver.
they gave Oliver.
That's our Oliver.
You know Oliver the Namor origin.
Yeah, well, that's gave it to Aquaman.
He
Why not?
wishes he could be. Imperious Rex, he could never be.
Oh my!
And I look as good as I do, no matter how old I am, and I date younger men.
I mean, it's good work if you can get it. But I just want to shout out Human Target #1 because, of course, friend to the show in our heads, Tom King. You like that one, Phil?
Yes, ma'am. So was that?
Just a quick disclaimer. Maybe nobody heard that part.
So was it good? I meant to pick it up. I forgot. That
It's very much a throwback. Very much giving me James Bond vibes in a very good way. The novel, not the movies. If you know, you know. I thought that the artwork by Greg Smallwood was superb. Love the cover. From cover to cover, just an excellent classic detective story. And y'all know I love a good noir setting.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this is a throwback, and I like it a lot so far.
Nice.
I highly recommend. I wasn't expecting this take on Human Target. I was like, why are we doing Human Target again? Now I know why we're doing Human Target again, because we haven't really done it this way.
Well, I mean, that seems to be Tom King's thing now. I mean, first with the Mr. Miracle, and then that the Adam Strange stuff. It's like, it's not.
He's bringing it back. He's bringing sexy back. Call him Justin Timberlake.
Oh, and it's basically not like not technically in continuity with any of them. Kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you would like this one.
I might. I was thinking about it, but now you mentioned that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Is this another Tom King 12?
Oh yeah,
issue?
definitely.
Yeah.
And also a little Lex Luthor thrown in, just so you guys know.
Oh, really?
Wait, you mean like a baby Lex Luthor? Oh.
Well, Lex Luthor's a little man. That's why he's so petty.
Oh.
That's why, honestly, the more that I think about it, I'm like, yeah, Jesse Eisenberg was the right choice for Zack Snyder's universe.
Oh. That's the inside.
Oh, my.
Oh, that is a $5 book, though, just so you guys know.
Okay, yeah.
$4.99 or $5.99?
$4.99.
Oh, okay. We buy those.
Phil, what you got, buddy?
Miss Hellfire, did you read X-Men Legends #8?
Unfortunately, I did have the mispleasure of reading that.
Oh, what?
I don't like any of this. I don't like any of this at all, sir.
Why?
It's generic.
Well,
repetitive, redundant.
Well, again, they're trying to do like 90s style stories, and I guess they've all been 2 and dones, but I guess now this Wolverine story is going to be at least a 3-part.
Of course, it's Wolverine. Predictable. Let's stretch it out. It's Wolverine. Sneak, bub, get it?
And he's dying again soon or something. I don't know.
Isn't this whole thing supposed to be that he doesn't die?
I don't know.
Exactly, sir. But it's Larry Hama, so the fanboys are going to eat it up. You fell for it.
I do like Larry Hama, so you know.
But shout out to Billy Tan, by the way, who does the art. I did enjoy the art.
Yes, I thought you might enjoy that.
Lady Deathstrike too. You know, I'm just like, I'm hoping they do more with her.
And you got some Jubilee in here too.
Yeah, you know that's what I came for.
But yeah, I get it. They're they're truly trying to pander because not only is he battling Omega Red in this issue, who shows up on the last page? Oh, Sabretooth.
Oh no.
They're trying to pull out all the stops.
That's why it was a 3-parter, see?
Yeah, see?
It's okay. Like I said, it's okay. I'm really not like a Larry Hama fangirl, so
yeah.
Not really enjoying his take on my favorite part of the Marvel universe. So, well, second favorite. Fantastic Four is my first, but
is Larry Hama in a band?
Oh yeah, I think he this actually came up when I was talking to Russell. Yeah, he is or he was. Hold on. Because what is it?
Because there's a part
The
of my.
Chaotix, I think.
So, I don't know if it was called the Chaotix or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I believe, and this is, remember Silver Slither in the G.I. Joe cartoon? I believe it was actually the Chaotix doing the music for Silver Slither in the cartoon.
Yeah, so when I was on Russell's podcast, that's what we were saying. There was one issue of G.I. Joe. It actually had like a little Easter egg. Someone was wearing like a Chaotix T-shirt and stuff. And
Yeah. So, because I remember, because I was, because remember, I read all the small print in the books back then. So I was reading all the bulletins and stuff, and they were talking like, because remember they talked about the Marvel Christmas party where the Chaotix played, and then as I'm reading all the credits on the G.I. Joe cartoon, because you should, I noticed that the word the Chaotix showed up, and yes, I know. So there we go. So Larry Hama and the Chaotix.
We love our nerds here. It's not an insult.
I mean, if nothing else, shout out to Larry Hama just for still writing G.I. Joe. I mean, that thing has switched companies, and he's still writing that 270 or 280 some issues later.
Because he did it the best.
He loves it, I guess. He's still there too.
Well, because he's good at what he does. That's the thing. It's like, sometimes, and this is the beauty of it is like he was basically given images and says, well, just create stuff for these guys. And he created stuff, and it was really good. He just got to tell whatever story he wanted, and he told a bunch of really compelling stories in a very silly universe. And, I honestly think he is actually one of the best comic writers out there. So there, I said it. And I think he played bass in the Chaotix. So don't think he was a vocalist. I think he was a bass player. Might have been the drummer. I don't know. But I would think if he was a drummer, he'd be in more than one band, because most drummers are. Of course, a lot of bass players are in a lot of other bands too.
All right, before we get out of here, Lilith, do you have any other books you want to throw out?
Yes, Superman 78 #3. I'm just gonna keep reminding y'all that exists.
I got it.
So shout out to Robert Venditti and Wilfredo Torres for keeping alive. So Brainiac shows up, and that's in that universe, that's pretty epic.
Is it spidery?
Not really.
Is he more like Super Friends Brainiac, or is he more like later the later metallic? Oh yeah, okay, so it's Super Friends Brainiac. Cool.
Yeah. Is that Super Friends Brainiac?
Well, he didn't wear the lab coat, but he had the Westworld. He had the Yul Brynner face with the bits on his head. Yeah.
Yes, Brainiac shrinks him down, puts him in Kandor, where his parents are still alive. That's right, kids. Marlon Brando is still alive in Kandor on an alien spaceship.
Oh, come on. That's a big spoiler. Now nobody's going to buy it, Phil. Great job.
But what happens?
They're like, suck it, Marlon Brando. We can do what we want.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Brando estate allowed that to happen.
They don't know. That's why I'm telling Phil to shut up.
I was going to say, they probably tweaked it just enough. So they're like, no, that's not him. That's not his likeness.
That's Miguelito Loveless. He's just taller in the shoe.
That's Nicolas Cage. What are you talking about?
He would make
I'm glad never happened.
All right. Are we done here? Because Little Hellfire has another podcast to do.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's not your turn tonight, boys. Yeah, we got another podcast. You get the hell out of here. Come on. Hit the music, Phil.
Before we leave, I just want to say I bought those on Little Hellfire's recommendation. I bought the first 5 issues of Wonder Woman Black and Gold, and I enjoyed it. It's good. I think there's one more issue.
I wish the stuff that they were doing in the main book was in the vein of that.
What was that, issue 2 or something? There was a story with her and Etta Candy. I was like, oh, Charlie would like this.
Etta Candy?
We got more candy after all.
They're just
I had a bunch of free comic book day
Well, Wonder Woman Day.
Wonder Woman Day comics. Haven't read them all yet, but
Comics.
Yeah. So yeah, there we go. Wonder Woman Day special edition, Diana, Princess of the Amazons, and of course, Wonder Woman Tempest Tossed. So lots of fun Wonder Woman books, and of course, also along with that, there was also a free Hawkeye book with new Hawkeye. So that's cool.
But I was sad, but don't worry, kids. Next week, the next Amazing Spider-Man will be out.
I know. What a terrible time to be a Spider-Man fan.
I know.
I say it every time.
How spoiled are we? We had a week off. No Spider-Man.
How is it even possible?
And November is awesome, kids, because not only do we get an issue of Nightwing,
Stop Batman.
Hey, we get a Nightwing issue, regular issue. We get a Nightwing annual at the end of the month, and this coming out this upcoming week, the first issue of Robin and Batman.
Are we gonna have to check on Kristen? Is she gonna be okay? Is she gonna explode from all the excitement?
Oh man, she took charge, man. She told me, she says, yeah, we're gonna wait till January and we're gonna do just one episode on when all 3 issues are out. I was like, okay, yes, ma'am.
That's my girl.
So Robin and
shameless plugs, Philip.
It's a flashback series. It's like a 3-issue flashback series about Dick Grayson's first year as Robin.
Because everybody deserves a year 1 story.
Everyone's clamoring.
I'd rather read year 1 Nightwing, but okay.
Well, they did that. They kind of did that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a thing. You can read that now.
Everyone's clamoring.
DC Finite.
Everyone's clamoring for Dick. Anyway, yes, kids. So send your
I'm gonna need that as a drop. Thank you. Please and thank you.
All right, kids. So yes, join us next week. Send your thoughts on the comics, any news. Remember, if you want your Eternals review, check out Super Connectivity. I might even switch things around and put that at the beginning of the week and switch this in Super Connectivity. So
do that.
So yes, but either way, Super Connectivity 366 will be our Eternals review. So send your thoughts on all of it. Email us capesandlunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, follow Capes and Lunatics on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. We even have the Capes and Lunatics Cloakroom, the Facebook fan group. So go
hang up your cape and cowl.
That's right. And don't drink Love Hellfire's booze. But yes, find links to all those, links to all the social medias for all of the shows, links to this YouTube channel, links to the Patreon. Most important, again, we're on our own. We don't have a union. We have nothing. So paying for this ourselves. So if you can subscribe to the Patreon, please do.
If you like to be pandered to, Ray and Justin.
That's right. Thank you. Go check out Patreon for creator interviews. Kelly Thompson's up there. The JMD Mateus is coming soon. And
of course our monthly Chichester chats.
Yes,
trademark pending if he wants it or not.
Mr. DG Chichester is there every month.
I got the good mic out for you guys.
And superhero movie brackets coming in 2022. We will find the worst superhero movie or TV show.
No, it's movies. TV shows might be 2023.
Wow. Well,
to be fair, it was released in IMAX.
Yes, the first 2 episodes. Yes. All right, kids. So yes, so find that. Or if you want to buy merch, cups, t-shirts, phone cases, more coming soon. Links to all.
I heard the cups were bigger.
Because Lilith Hellfire needs it bigger. Find links to everything all in one convenient place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. All right, Lilith Hellfire, where can people talk to you?
Oh, if you don't want to talk about Riverdale or any Archie book, you can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire, on Instagram, Lilith Hellfire69, and of course, making Star Trek and Stargate related content on TikTok at Lilith Hellfire69. Duh. Bigger is better. The big finish. That's a mouthful. Jazz hands.
Hey, well, Charlie Esser.
Well, if you'd like to write to me that old-fashioned email way that our mothers and fathers once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And follow me on the Twitters at live tweet agents of, no, not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Stargirl.
Time warp.
Season 2.
Yeah, you remember. Is that live tweet Stargirl, although not anymore because it just ended its last season. Or not last season, but this had its season finale, which was awesome, by the way.
Awesome.
And, I'd say I'd tweet Legends tomorrow, but I enjoy it so much. I just watch it. And I'm so behind on the lore. Oh, I got to catch up. But it's really good, too. I watch that show. And but if you want to follow me when I tweet things, it's at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz.
Ooh.
Well, that's the intro to the podcast.
Ooh. All right, kids. Thanks for joining us. Again, come back next week. But until then, we have been your capes.
Ampersand.
Lunatics!
Yay.
Stay tuned for all coverage of all 97 Batman books over on We Are the Night, Batman podcast.
We can split some between tonight and tomorrow, but no, come back next week.
I'm just saying for full coverage is what I'm saying.
Come back for next week for coverage of Amazing Spider-Man, so in case you don't know who Morbius is before January.
Oh yeah, that trailer drop. We should probably talk about that too.
There's always time for more. Gimme.
Good night, everybody.